Hey everyone, so today I have another question from some people in my community that needs answering, and I thought I would answer it here for this episode of Ask Yasmina Legal. So the question is the difference between an employee and a subcontractor, and that's asked by Stephen. Thank you for your question, Stephen. The difference between an employee and a subcontractor is not a particularly hard concept to grasp. It's basically this: you as an employee are provided all the tools that you need to do your job by the person you work for, by your employer. You work a set number of hours at a set place by your employer, and you are not allowed to work for anybody else during the time you're supposed to be working for that employer. You're also authorized to act on behalf of that employer in certain circumstances within certain terms and conditions of your employment contract. Now, a subcontractor is a completely independent person with their own business or their own sole trader ABN that you employ for certain tasks. Now, in order for them to be a subcontractor, they supply their own tools. They supply everything they need to do the job, and then you are hiring them on an hourly rate or whatever arrangement you've come up with, but you cannot tell them where to do the job. You cannot tell them, within reason, you cannot tell them how to do the job. And they have all the autonomy in the world to say, well, I can't get that done this week, I'll do it for you next week, to dictate their time. They don't have to come and work for you at your workplace unless they want to. They can work from home. Basically, they've got full autonomy. Now, there are some situations where people try to employ people as some subcontractors to get out of paying superannuation, leave loading, things like that. But there is a checklist that the Fair Work Commission uses in order to evaluate whether you are an employee or a subcontractor. Now, this checklist, let me just get it up and I will read it to you so that you know what types of things can consider somebody in your employ to be an employee and not a subcontractor. Even if you want them to be a subcontractor and they want to be a subcontractor, you have to be very clear about what their role is and how it is to function. So let me just get it up for you. Here we go. So here it is, the checklist. There are 9 indicators. So, where is my video? I cannot see myself on the screen. Sorry. Alright, so the degree of control over how work is performed. An employee performs work under the direction and control of their employer on an ongoing basis. An independent contractor or a subcontractor has a high level of control in how the work is done. The hours of work is the second indicator. An employee generally works standard or set hours. This includes casual employee hours where they may vary from week to week. An independent contractor or subcontractor, under agreement, decides what hours to work to complete the specific task. The next indicator is the expectation of work. An employee usually has an ongoing expectation of work, which is what I said before. Although some employees can be engaged for a specific task or a specific period, say a maternity leave contract, for example, or I'm here to project manage a new project, and at the end of that project they will go on to be employed by somebody else. An independent contractor is usually engaged for a specific task only. Risk. An employee bears no financial risk. This is the responsibility of their employer. An independent contractor bears the risk for making a profit or loss on each task. They usually bear responsibility and liability for poor work or injuries sustained while performing the task. and you will usually need your own insurance policy to be an independent or subcontractor. Superannuation. Employees are entitled to superannuation into a nominated fund by their employer. Subcontractor, pay your own superannuation. In some circumstances, independent contractors may be entitled to be paid superannuation contributions from somebody that they are subcontracting to. Tools and equipment. An employee, the tools and equipment, as I said, are generally provided by the employer, or a tool allowance is provided. For a subcontractor, they provide their own tools and equipment, although you can negotiate alternative arrangements for whoever you're working for to provide them for you if you want to. Tax. An employee has income tax deducted by their employer. A subcontractor pays your own tax and GST if you're registered, if you're required to be registered. The method of payment. An employee is paid regularly, e.g. weekly, fortnightly, monthly. A subcontractor or an independent contractor, you've got to have an ABN, and you submit an invoice for the work, and then the invoice is paid at the end of the contract. Well, hang on. You can depends how you run your business. So you can do regular invoicing, like monthly or weekly or fortnightly, or you can get paid at the end of the contract on one invoice. Just depends how you want to do it, what your cash flow is like. And then leave. Employees are entitled to receive paid leave. Annual leave, carers leave, personal leave, long service leave, or they get a loading in lieu of leave entitlements in case of casual employees. A subcontractor, you don't get paid leave from whoever you're working for, but of course you can nominate yourself in your own business of when you're going to take time off, when you're going to take holidays. So I hope that was helpful to you. If you have any questions about it, let me know in the comments below. Please subscribe to receive more videos. I do apologise for the delay in this video going up. I've had Christmas and New Year break, and I was also unwell just before Christmas, so I was unable to put up the next video on that timeline. So now you can expect fortnightly videos on this playlist, and then fortnightly on my other playlist, which is the soul-based and spiritual living playlist. Anyway, it's great to see you all, and I will see you all next time. Bye!